All right, guys, you're listening to Free Game, hosted by Luke Gerasi and co-host Jeremy Todd. Today we got Rocc Jones, the owner, general manager of ReVive Wellness. They specialize in healthy recovery, enhanced performance, and just honestly better overall health. I've been there several times now, used several of their services. I already know what Jeremy's going to open up.
I've never been, but I've heard.
Yeah, I already know what Jeremy's going to open up with. I've done all the services.
Ooh. You call that the oil change.
The oil change.
There you go.
So I don't know if you want to kind of go through them, but they have cryotherapy. Cryotherapy is super cool for any that haven't done it.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah, literally, man. We do basically like what Luke is saying, man. We do everything that unimpinges, your circulation and anything that improves your energy, right? So oxygen therapy, cryotherapy, red light, CBD oil massage, colon hydrotherapy.
As Jeremy eloquently likes to put it, water up the butt.
Right. Exactly. Foot detox, Normatec, body sculpting. We even do hormone replacement.
What's body sculpting?
Yeah.
It literally is inches reduction, man. Literally, they use lipo laser, cavitation, radio frequency, and it's a series of events. But think of the surgeries that people basically have to go get their fat done.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this is without the invasiveness of the surgery, but it comes out of you through your lymphatic drainage. So more or less, you kind of shit out the, the fat and everything else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it works.
Wow.
Yeah, it works.
So what does it get rid of? It gets rid of like the excess waste?
Well, let's say that you got just a little bit of fat on your stomach, on the sides, on your arms, or something like that. That you just basically want to get rid of faster.
Yeah.
You go in for about 6 to 8 treatments with Louisa, it's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it for these.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like working out, but
you
sounds great.
Crap it out.
Yeah.
But
whatever works. So, Rocc, what ended up getting you into this? Obviously, you have the football background.
Right.
For those of you guys that can see him, Rocc is a monster.
You're
for those of you
huge.
guys that can't, they're listening on like iTunes or whatever you're listening on. Rocc is a big dude.
Right. Literally, man, it's the best way to describe it is it's a natural evolution for me, right? I'm gonna try to be short-winded on a long journey, right? Because I'm old as dust.
Explain as much as you need to.
But at the end of the day, I started lifting weights at 8, right? So my little league coach was like, "Hey, you're running over people and scoring touchdowns now. You start lifting weights and drinking milk, you're gonna kill them." And I was like, "Okay, cool, got you." So told my mom I need a weight set. For my 8th birthday, she bought me a 188-pound cement weight set. Had the bench and the cement weights and everything else. So me and my 2 boys across the street, Quentin and Bevel, we started lifting weights every day. And so what we did was we took Muscle and Fitness, and it had the workout of the month in there, and we line them up on the wall, and we do the workout of the month every day. And keep going. So fast forward. Clearly, I'm hooked on lifting weights. I'm playing ball and everything else. Go to school. A master's degree is in exercise science, so I'm like extremely in tune to the body, but had some anger and aggression issues and stuff like that. So I was in counseling while I was in school and ended up being an actual peer counselor, which got me in tune to the mind. Right? So starting to put 2 and 2 together. Grew up in the church, part of some different organizations and stuff that make you actually think about what else is there besides what's handed to you on your plate. Keep thinking, fast forward on into my adult life. I'm really intrigued with why do people do what they do, right? When you got all this information, but you're still messing up, right? Okay, but I'm still training people, still strength coaching, still, well, I did know I was life coaching, but I was life coaching, personal
before
training.
Life coaching was cool.
Right. All of that type of stuff. So we get up to, say, the past 5-6 years, I'm really interested, right? So I'm like, okay, let me start reading more about, how did your childhood get you to here, or what else is there besides medication, or, why do we not think about, there's a better way other than taking 90,000 pills and drinking a glass of water a day.
Oh my God.
Right? So when you begin thinking about all of this stuff and putting everything together, you say, okay, why don't we provide stuff for people, like provide alternative ways to recover, provide alternative ways to have an improved, lifestyle, and here we are. And coincidentally, I did get a life coaching cert.
Dude, you should.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to get into it. Everybody should do it. That
Right,
has some
right.
success at some level. You can teach somebody, mentor somebody.
Right, exactly.
And you did the counseling, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how I found this spot. Is I was at the LA Fitness, which is right next to
Right.
Rock Spot in Lawrenceville. Anybody that's listening to this in the Lawrenceville area. So I was at LA Fitness, and I was talking to Ed, the guy who owns the juice bar,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, he's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ed talks to everybody.
Yeah,
So
man,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
cool as hell. So I'm shooting
Yeah.
shit with him, and he's like, "Oh man, I feel great. I just went to that ReVive Wellness spot. You should go and check it out." And he was talking about the colonoscopy, not the colonoscopy, but
Colon hydrotherapy.
the colon hydrotherapy thing.
Yeah.
And
Water in the booty.
and,
Right.
And then, but he was also saying like they had all these things for like his knees because my knees sometimes hurt.
Right,
Especially
exactly.
if I haven't been playing basketball at all lately, but when I do, especially like the next day.
Yeah,
So he's like, you gotta go
yeah.
check it out, and I didn't even realize it. He told me after that, and I think you told me too. Ed leads like the spin classes. So
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ed's like former Navy. So he's like a badass.
Oh, he's
dude.
badass.
Oh yeah. He's no joke. He was military police.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I go in there, and then I'm with my girl, and we're just kind of walking around. He's giving us the whole tour, and we end up basically doing everything.
Right.
We did the foot thing where like you
Yeah, the foot. Yeah, y'all
explain
did the foot detox. Well, the foot detox.
What is that?
I call that the junior detox. Right. So it's junior next to colon hydrotherapy. But with a foot detox, basically we're using your body's energy to pull toxins out. Right.
Through the feet.
Yeah. So your feet are literally in water.
The water changes colors according to like what leaves your body.
Yeah,
It's wild.
Yeah, there's an array that's in the water, kind of like the engine, if you want to call it that. Then we got a intensifier that's around your waist, and then we got a like the negative wire, if you want to call it that, that's around your wrist. So whatever's inside of you that's needing help, whatever's needing the most help, that'll be the dominant color. But it'll go through like a series of colors, as you're sitting there.
So
like if you're
different
sore or
colors.
got knee problems, like him. You'll start seeing the bubbles from lymphatic drainage and all that stuff. Seriously,
What?
I kid you not. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
mine,
you just soak your feet.
like mine and Danielle's
Just
had different colors.
Yeah, you just
And it
chilling.
was like because I just did legs the day before. I forget what color it turned, but you were like, "Oh, did you just work out heavy yesterday?"
Right. No, it was all of them damn bubbles that I
because
said.
that all
That,
these
yeah.
bubbles. So like it was getting rid of, I don't know.
Well, bottom line is you build up a lot of free radicals and stuff
That's
like
what it
that.
was.
it
So
has
if
to
I'm
come out.
lifting heavy a lot, which I do, I love powerlifting, what would the
Right.
color be?
like his, you have a
be all
truckload of
bubble.
bubbles and stuff going on in there. But then let's say that you go and get good and toe up the night before too, right? It'd probably be like black. Like I've seen it where people have their feet in there, and it's only 30 minutes, but like the last 5 minutes, you can't even tell they got feet. Look like ankles sit in soot.
Whoa, and that's just coming out of the bottom of
Yeah,
the feet?
just coming out working out. The cool thing about it, and I never put two and two together until we started doing this. So we have to add salt, right, to get the electronic charge up to between a 1.3 and 1.7. Well, depending on the person, it may take like three little scoops of it. Some people may take 6 or 7 or whatever else. Guess what? The salt adds the ionic charge, which makes the whole thing, go and work.
Yeah, it's an electrolyte.
Yeah, it's a trip. It is a trip. Without it, out of luck.
So that kind of goes back to what you were saying before, where you're opposed to like the pill method and essentially modern Western medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I presume you're more into. This seems a little more holistic. Would you describe it as holistic? How would you describe
Yeah,
it?
literally. So the bottom line of it is like you got traditional and you got holistic in the world of me. This is nothing I read now. This is just me talking.
Okay. I'm
So
in.
when I say holistic, so what I mean is you're using your body. You're working with your body, right? For instance, blood pressure medication, right? Soft sidetrack here. So you have to dumb it down in your cells. You got an indoor and an outdoor, right?
Okay.
You got a sodium potassium pump that's inside of there, right? Basically, if there's more water in there, both doors are open, cell shrinks, blood pressure lessens, right? If there's less water in there than everything else, the outdoor closes, cell swells, blood pressure rises. So you go to a crawfish boil, you're drinking beer, a lot of salt, next day you can't get your ring off, that's what happened.
Right.
The outdoors closed, right?
Okay.
Basic blood pressure medication is a diuretic.
It's like a water pill, right?
Yeah, more or less.
It's water retention.
Right.
Yeah, because we're healthcare specialists more or less.
So
we
we
deal
know
with that all the time.
blood pressure all the
blood
time.
pressure.
So check this out. Well, you take the blood pressure medication, right? Now, mind you, they tell you about renal failure and things like this before you even start taking the stuff, right? Well, here's why. Take it. It tricks your cells into believing there's enough water, so you open the outdoor. You open the outdoor, cell shrinks, blood pressure's regulated, right? Well, your kidney and livers are saying, oh, okay, we got enough water in the system to function properly. No, you don't.
It's a trick.
And then what happens next? The next pharmaceutical company starts making that money off of you.
Oh, right. It's a trickle-down effect.
So holistically, if you work with your body, you work in harmony,
so what
then
would
you got a better effect.
If I had high blood pressure and I didn't want to start that? Water.
Yeah. The average person like on the
less salt, more water.
Yes, like on the forms that we have people fill out. The average person only drinks like 2 or 3 glasses of water a day.
Right.
You need about 70% of your body weight in ounces a day. Yeah, that's what they say.
Which means they're probably drinking less.
They're probably drinking one.
And there's water in sweet tea, so
exactly.
I'm good, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's water in the diuretic. Yeah, it's good for you. Yeah, get that in your life.
Right.
What else would make your cells shrink, I guess, more or less?
Water.
Yeah,
get the water in you. Decrease eating like every bit of salt that you can find. Stop filling all of your tea with all the sugar in Roswell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A healthier diet. Get your fruits and vegetables in. Decrease your stress. All of that good stuff. The stuff that your grandmama tell you that you didn't listen to.
Right.
The basic stuff. Eat healthy. Drink more water.
Yeah, it's not rocket science.
I always hear like sugar is like the worst. Is sugar or salt? What is worse? Is there a worse?
Is there a worse? I'm gonna say no, but different.
Okay.
It's kind of like Clubber Lang versus Drago. Do you really want to fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All Rocky references are appreciated here.
Right. Exactly. So sugar is gonna do. You're gonna if your heart rate isn't high enough to use it, it's gonna convert to fat. When it begins to convert to fat, then you get the trickle down effect. You get the visceral fat around your organs and all this other carrying on. Mm-hmm. Too much salt. Blood pressure's going through the roof. You're going to kick the bucket. You're going to go blind. So you're going to dry up.
My question is, if I work out and I go to I sweat heavy in the gym,
right,
and then I sit in the sauna,
right,
I just depleted my body of my electrolytes, salt being one of them.
Uh-huh.
So should I be more cognizant if I exercise a lot of my sugar than my salt to replenish electrolytes, or how do I think about it?
No. Okay, you gotta understand how they work.
That's actually my favorite thing, sitting in the sauna after.
Yeah. So oh my God, I hate it, dude.
I love it.
I hate being hot like that.
Love the sauna.
Ooh, I hate it. Right, you got about 3 minutes of me, and then I'm
20.
See, yeah,
20 minutes. It helps so much with my soreness, especially on my knees and stuff.
I don't get as sore.
Y'all take water in there when you go in?
I drink a bunch before. I make sure I'm peeing relatively light before I go in.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, man, because when you peeing and it looks like something off a daggone space movie, you're dry.
Mellow yellow.
Yeah, exactly. You're dry at that point.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but after your workouts, like you like to do a lot of powerlifting, so you're going to use a lot of carbohydrates. Yeah. So right after the workout, like how much do you weigh? About
265.
All right, so about a good 25, 30 grams of sugar for you. You want to go natural sugars at that point,
like an orange or
exactly. Well, berries, orange, whatever you're going to use, right? Mm-hmm. But your body's going to use it most effectively at that time. Okay. Or if you watch football games or whatever else, and you see them like eating stuff like hot stuff, especially at halftime, because your heart rate is through the roof and it's going to use that. But when your heart rate is at lower levels, when you're just sitting chilling on the couch, you're not going to use it. So whatever fuel you don't use is going to convert to fat. That's why when you're sitting up at night eating ice cream and drinking wine and wondering why you gained 5 pounds last week, your body wasn't in the state to use it,
to convert it.
That was what I meant by like neither good nor bad, like Clubber Lang.
Right.
Drago.
Just depends on the timing.
Yeah, the timing. Food is fuel, so it's fuel for either what you're about to do or fuel for recovering.
Did you learn this stuff when you were getting your master's in this, or did you learn it at like ReVive? As
I progressed through, and actually I landed into a great spot in my master's degree because my graduate advisor, Dr. Ron Smith, has a postdoctorate in nutrition. Yeah.
What does that mean, postdoctorate?
Oh God, he has like letters behind his name, like MC squared and all this other carry on. You know what I mean? So, but he made nutrition simple, but he always started at the base of stuff, like 1 + 1 = 2. No, it's never 11. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you take that learning and then you just keep learning. As you go. Like I competed in bodybuilding for a while and stuff like that. Then so as I would go back, I'll call him, I'll read this, and before Google became a thing, you gotta find another way to find stuff. And
articles.
yeah, exactly. And here we are.
The MC squared thing got me thinking on a tangent. So I recently read, actually I don't want to say recently, I read it a while ago, and then I looked it up, and then I saw it again the other day. One of the most interesting things to me is the speed of light. At the speed of light, time is frozen, and I'll go down this whole rabbit hole with like intuition, time being frozen, and energy being the only thing that escapes a black hole. But what that just got me thinking is, I don't know if you've seen it, but I actually looked it up, and it does correspond. The coordinates of the Great Pyramid are the exact coordinates are the exact same coordinates if it was the speed of light.
Really?
Dude, it's wild.
I did know that.
Oh, like the coordinates,
like the latitude, longitude.
Yeah.
Right.
The speed of light, it's in meters. It's like 189,000,000 miles a second or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know it takes like 8 minutes to get from the sun to here.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's for us, right? So the interesting thing about that is that's where time travel is. That's what Einstein showed in relativity. Is where time travel actually happens, but not the way we think. So the faster something moves, the slower time moves.
Right.
And at the speed of light,
relative.
time is frozen, right? So
wait a minute. Say it again. The faster something moves, the slower time moves.
So they've done experiments.
So that's why speed is distance over time. That makes sense. Okay.
So like let's say, it takes us 8 minutes before that gets back, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're moving at the speed of light, there is no time. So it's instantaneous. Mm-hmm. But what they were saying, what happened with time travel might be, now that there's the Large Hadron Collider, I didn't think we were going to go this far off on the tangent, but now that there's the Large Hadron Collider, now that there's the Large Hadron Collider, they're saying that we might actually be able to receive time travelers, because the thing before, it's almost like an airport. If you have somewhere to take off, but you don't have somewhere to land,
right,
where are you going?
Exactly.
Right? So now that we have that, they think we can actually now receive people. But the most common way that it was believed that time travel would actually be possible would be, so if you and I, let's say I get on a spaceship, okay? I'm like, yo, I'll meet you in a week at Free Game, right?
All right, gotcha.
I leave, and what might be a week for you might only be a day for me. My spaceship's going so much faster, so when I get back, I might think it's only tomorrow. But for you, it's a week. But now, if you amplify that over time, theoretically, if you were out traveling space or something at an extreme high rate, you might be able to come back 500 years later on Earth, but it's only a year later for you.
I was about to say, it's only next year.
So you haven't like aged. So that would be like a form of time travel,
dude.
Wait, so aging is how you perceive time?
I was about to say so that there's a. I'm not even going to call him a martial artist, but he calls himself. He's a martial archaeologist. He literally bodyguarded for like Mandela and Farrakhan and stuff like this. Sijo. So his name is Abdul Mutakabir, right? And look him up, dude. Off the change. He's 70 years old, but not what you want.
Right? You don't need stuff to that.
Hey, listen, not what you want, but he told me he was like, he said time is the infinite expression of the mind. Oh. And so as I'm listening to you, I'm like, 1 + 1 is adding up here.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me go look it up now.
No,
you spark thought. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've seen our logo for here. It's actually an open book.
Yeah.
With Metatron's cube coming out.
Yes.
So that's like how me and Rocc kind of really get.
It literally sparked the conversation.
It sparked the relationship.
Like
Sacred
that.
geometry sparked the conversation?
There you go.
Yes. So Carmen, the lady that works for him or
yeah,
with
she
him,
does massage.
She does massages, right? So then I'm paying and I see her hand and it's got the Metatron's cube. And I was like, have you ever done DMT?
Exactly.
So if anybody's ever done DMT that's listening, you see the fractals and the geometry. If you haven't, it's just something that occurs naturally and with like plants and it's all these different bases of life and stuff. But so Rocc was like, no, man, that's Metatron's cube. So then we start talking and getting into like esoteric stuff, kind of where we're going now with this. And he's telling me about the Book of Enoch, which I've ordered and it still hasn't come.
You serious?
Yeah, I know you got it.
Is that with the Sumerians? Is that different? The Book of Enoch.
The Book of Enoch.
I don't know. Don't get me to lie to you about
supposed
Sumerians.
To be
Noah's grandfather, Methuselah's father, the great grandson of Adam, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Enoch. Long story short,
if I'm correct, it's the geographic area. I think is like either Ethiopia or like
I
Egypt,
think it's
like
Ethiopia,
Eastern, northeastern Africa, Middle Eastern area.
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. So he like literally the way the story is told, short version, Cliff Note version. He ascended to heaven a couple of times, and on the last time before the flood, God basically made him energy, turned him to an angel called Metatron, basically the Prince of Peace or the Scribe of God, whatever you want to call him. And the Metatron's cube, it's I want to say it was an Italian guy. I can't.
Fibonacci.
There you go.
Fibonacci, who's one of the most prolific mathematicians.
Sequence, like nature.
He's the first person
right.
to openly talk about it, but he was saying that like the secrets of the universe are within it, and that societies have been talking like secret societies, like the Pythagoreans and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. You know how they say the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it doesn't exist, right?
Right.
So with Metatron's cube, if you just look at just numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So it has they call it the fruit of life, but the circles, that are in it represents the female part, and the lines represent the male parts, right? Okay. Well, the lines, if you take them like each way that they can go, it comes up to 78 lines.
It's 78,
right? But then you take that 7 and the 8, add it together, it gives you 15, right? Take the 1 and the 5, gives you 6, right? Then so.
Side note, the Pythagoreans believe 6 was the first perfect number, because it was the sum of its factors. So 3
is it
2
exactly
1.
Exactly. So you get 2 3s out of the 6, right? So check this out. If you like Google numerology or whatever, like what does 6 mean? If I'm not mistaken, 6 is harmony.
Yep.
And 3 is spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So you
3
get
is
a
like creative spirit and energy.
Right.
And
So you get a harmonious spirit, right? Out of out of the cube. But then you look at, say, when Metatron transformed, it was 72 wings, and you're like, okay, you look up 7, right? The only complete number. 2,
Well, why is 7 the only complete number?
Yeah, I don't know why it is. No, I just looked it up.
And it's not the first primary.
I know you got 7. No, you got 7 days. 7 days of Earth, 7 continents. 7 days in creation, and and all this other type of stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why, but then 2, of course, unity and everything else. And then you add those 2 to 9, and if I'm not mistaken, 9 was something about complete, but like God's completion or everything. And because I know it is something about forgiveness, and you're doing right by mankind if you go by that frequency. Don't let me go too far off of it, but as you look at it, kind of like this whole fitness thing, you start going down the rabbit hole, and you're like,
it all.
So going
it
back,
all connects.
So going back to the beginning, when Luke like Carmen has an arm of tattoos, like a sleeve, like every tattoo under the sun, and so he goes, what's that? And starts talking, and I'm looking at him, and as he's talking, I'm like, dude, like I got his phone. I think I text you, and I was I was like, bruh,
text me a bunch of stuff to look up.
I said, bruh, look at this stuff. I was like, there was a reason you was drawn to that,
right?
That there was a reason we met again, on this day, because I met him before, and then
right.
I was like, bruh, there's a reason. Let's ride this energy wave. I was like, look at this, check this out.
That's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, it was cool though, man.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the logo.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's like an open book, and then it's Metatron's cube above it, free game. So the concept of free game, I had this whole vision of the podcast happening maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I was with my buddy Petrillo, just kind of like chilling, and I get this random thing like where my third eye kind of tingles sometimes, and I know I'm gonna get like a message, which I know sounds crazy. Yeah, it's the pineal gland, whatever. I meditated enough that it just kind of happens.
Yeah,
and I write down free game, like podcasts. I'll interview like business people and other people that are into like just kind of expanding their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So then when Amanda and Mike essentially approached me about podcasts, so I was a guest on a podcast for Business RadioX, which is obviously the ones who are hosting us now. Thank you guys.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Amanda and Mike are doing the production for us. Dude, it's so cool, right?
Right.
It's so nice and professional. So then they were like, what's the name of it? And I was like, it's got to be free game. I can't even explain how it has to be, but I just know it has to be. Yeah. and there's all these different things, which kind of brings me back to like intuition or the pineal gland and time again. So I have this kind of whole view on intuition and things like that, and messages, and I don't know if you've ever been like in an event where you felt like God might have spoke to you in different ways. For me, I've seen these I see auras or whatever, not whatever, but that's what I see. not on people, but on events that are about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I can like see if something's gonna work or not with like color auras. It's hard.
Really?
Yeah.
One time we were walking.
That's cool.
And I was thinking of something deep, and he called me out. We were just walking.
Right.
And I was like thinking of something, and
I go. Do you just see blue in your third eye? And he goes, yeah. I go. I just saw it leave and go to that light.
Wow.
But like
And
he
he
called
freaks
me
out.
out.
He started.
Wow.
It was one of the first times we were walking.
Wow.
We walk and talk.
Sober. I was sober too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Hey, there you go. Hey, good
was
call.
sober.
Good call.
Yeah.
It's not
I was
to throw
just
that out
thinking
there.
of some deep
Yeah.
shit, and he like, yo, were you? I was like, I guess. What the hell was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Then you start looking at him like, hold up, dog. I
Yeah.
got something on my back or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
but my view on like the intuition in that, right, is to go back to time. Creation and destruction, same way you perceive time through age.
Mm-hmm.
Creation and destruction are constructs of time, right? So if time is frozen, then there's no creation or destruction, from my understanding. Now, in a black hole, the only thing that survives would be information. Information is just another fancy way of saying an electromagnetic wave.
Okay.
Our brain communicates through electromagnetic waves.
Right.
My view on intuitions and some of these gut feelings and stuff is, again, if that information is always there, it's never created or destroyed, it's probably then it's always there.
Right.
So when you get coherent, in a scientific term of like coherent frequency, you'd resonate at a certain level.
Right.
I think you've been there before. When I sometimes when I meditate, like electronics react to me. Like I'll say things and they'll change.
Really?
My view on this scientifically, not from the mystic standpoint. From the mystic standpoint, I have my own view, but from a scientific standpoint, it's because I'm resonating at a certain frequency that the electronics pick up on.
Right.
But my view on the intuition would be when you're really praying for something or meditating on something, or you're trying to figure out what to do when you're in that life or death situation or whatever, you gather that information that's out there that's magnetically attracted to you. It's from an electromagnetic wave that's always out there. The other end of a black hole, mathematically speaking, looks like a white hole. I used to read all these research papers on physics.
Yeah.
My whole time in college. Me and Scott Ball, we call it Wings in Physics. Every Wednesday, we'd
that's
research
awesome.
a different topic and from scholarly journals.
Wings and physics.
And we'd crush chicken wings, beers, and talk about like our own views.
Blue
on,
cheese
like,
and Albert Einstein.
Right.
Blue cheese and Albert Einstein.
Right.
So my view though would be that intuition comes to you magnetically, and again, theoretically, it would always be there. The other end of a black hole would be a white hole, which is the same mathematically looks like the Big Bang. So that would be like the multiple universes, or if you wanted like the hologram theory and all that.
Right.
Either way, you're within it, so it doesn't make it not real, right?
Correct.
Like a movie is fake, but that doesn't make it not real.
Right. Exactly.
I still watched it.
Yeah, it's fiction,
Right.
but it's
Right.
there.
So if we're living in a simulation or
It's still real.
hologram theory, the Hermetic Teaching essentially, I like the way they describe it. Being aware of that, if you're within Shakespeare's Macbeth, right?
Right.
You realize you're Macbeth in Shakespeare's play. You're the star of the play, right?
Okay.
The world's your play. That doesn't make it that you're still not in it, right? So you might realize you're within a fantasy world,
Right.
but you're still within the fantasy world.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you're still aware of that.
And you
Yeah.
could be like,
Yeah.
I'm part Shakespeare, but I am not Shakespeare,
Correct.
right? So you could be like, I'm part God, like it's within me, but I'm not. There's so
Correct. Correct.
much more, and that just changed my whole view. And I was like, oh, that makes sense,
Bruh,
So there's no escaping the Matrix,
Bruh,
or maybe there
that's Metatron's cube.
yes,
You just no, I'm serious, because when you look at it, it's like big cubes, and it goes all the way down, boils down to the least common denominator and back up. But scientifically, man, nothing happens by happenstance. I think we talked about that the second time I met you.
right.
But literally, man, so you have in your subconscious, it's called a reticular activating system, right? So think about when you're like, okay, I want to buy a white Crossfire car, right? Up until that moment, I mean, you really have it in you. You know, you've prayed on it, you've meditated on it, and everything else. Up until that moment, you've probably seen one white Crossfire a year, whatever. But once it gets planted into your subconscious, into that reticular activating system, you begin
seeing it.
You begin seeing them everywhere.
Shit.
But just like what you were just saying, because you didn't see them before, it doesn't mean they wasn't there. It just means you wasn't in tune. You wasn't in tune to them, because that reticular activating system begins tuning your brain to do what it is, well, tuning you to do what it is, what you've planted inside of it. It's going to grow. It's going to happen.
And you could learn how to control that.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember there. That reminds me of this thing I read about. It's probably what is it? Reticular activator.
Yeah, reticular activating system.
And it was saying it showed a wheel of greens, right, and then it showed a wheel of blues. And it was like in America, you can point out all these. I think it was blues. you could point out like the wheel had like 23 slices of it, and it was like you can point out 23 different slices because you're so aware of the different blues. There's teal, like you know, right?
Yeah. I'm in trouble. I'm colorblind. On that
Okay. But they were saying, and then I looked at the green, and to me it all looked like the same green. And they said this tribe in Africa only has one color of blue, and they can only see one blue. And they were like, in America, you can only see one of these greens. You don't normally. And they're like, but they can see all 23 of these greens. And it's just the way we program ourselves. So it
right.
And I think when the Spanish sailed, I think it was the Mayans or whatever, they didn't see the ships because they didn't have ships, so they just didn't see them. Like if you don't know what to look for, you don't see it.
Wow.
Or yeah, it'd just be some.
You know what, man? That is profound like a mug. Because, for instance, one of my clients, I won't call her out, but she doesn't like to drink water. And for, I know, a good year or two, she couldn't figure out how in the world I knew she hadn't been drinking water. I knew to look at her lips.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, how come you don't know how you know what I mean? But she just didn't know, kind of like the ships.
Right.
You know, you looking out there like,
You just don't see it.
Yeah, it's, you know, a big tree's coming. Okay, good.
Yeah.
You don't see it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would be, you know, theoretically go keep us in this crazy space. Right? So back with like the Bible or some of these ancient teachings, theoretically if there were aliens or people traveling from the future.
Yeah, like the Anunnaki and all this carry
right.
on. Yeah.
My view on aliens might even just be it's people from the future, right? On that spaceship and we're just traveling different speeds.
Right.
But if they come back, right, how would you describe it?
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
A chariot of fire.
You wouldn't know how to describe it.
How would you describe it?
Yeah, kind of like that. They were saying like yeah, you know, they came down on
like
the,
an angel
on
came
the
up
craft.
and down.
Yeah, exactly.
They just
we
disappeared.
start drawing stuff on the side of the bridge.
Yeah. Painted on little rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
This dude right here, man.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
In a great way.
Yeah, in a good way.
I mean that in a
perfect
good way.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I'm crazy. I'm weird as hell.
Yeah.
But in
That's
a
great.
way, but in a way, I'm completely comfortable with it. I'm wearing grills. Oh, the reason I'm wearing grills, bro. The reason I wear grills is because, again, back to electromagnetic radiation. I'm wearing gold in my teeth, which is one of the best conductors known to man.
Yeah, I was about to say gold is a great conductor.
It's a great conductor. I use my mouth to make money through insurance, which is our main, and then now we're doing a podcast. And I was like, why would I not put a great conductor in my mouth?
That makes sense.
I don't give a fuck what people think of it.
Yeah,
I think it
makes
looks
sense.
cool. But
Yeah.
like at the same time, I have a practical reason for doing it.
Well, dude, think about this though. So crazy by definition is thinking outside of the norm.
That's what I'm saying. Is that by
the
definition, I can't get mad if somebody calls me crazy or says I'm weird.
Right. The average person in America, do you really want that?
No.
You know, so you want to be crazy,
Right.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be wearing gold and doing podcasts. And
there you go.
expanding their mind and talking to people that do wellness.
There you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's actually the whole basis of our business model. So I hired Jeremy from Taco Mac less than a year ago.
Yeah, I was a bartender.
You met everybody.
So
The last legal drug pusher.
Yeah. Pusher man.
Yeah.
Well, marijuana's coming back, and hopefully they do like mushrooms
They
soon.
never left.
Yeah, everybody. I was about to say, yeah, it didn't go nowhere.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he'll tell you like the rule of my office is come as you are. Like, be authentic. Don't rip off the client, and be good to your coworkers, and do whatever you want. I don't care. Be
Bottom
you.
line. Yeah.
I asked him to read a book, exercise, and do community service. We just did community service yesterday, 2 days ago.
It was 2 days ago for
2
the
days ago.
farmers to families.
Farmers to families, but our whole thing is just come as you are. So like, I got some of my friends from home that were dope boys back home. So my friends from home that were professors. They're both working for me, both doing great by the client. Nobody know what they did
Beforehand.
might be able to guess guy was a professor. He kind of comes off very professory, but for the most part, you can't really tell, right? It's just who you be, who you are, and then always try to grow. And that's kind of the approach we've taken to business. You seem like you're taking that to like yours, like you and Carmen, you guys are yourselves, right? Like you're not the stereotypical like suit.
No,
so to
you can't be, man. Like literally, if you try to be anybody other than you, well, what? There's a phrase that says you can only be you. Like everybody else is taken. You know what I mean? Like you're wasting time. And so if you're trying to be anybody other than yourself, bro, it's not gonna work. Especially when you're trying to help people.
Yeah.
Right. And another thing too, when you say come as you are, most folks don't know who the hell they are.
That's true.
You know, or they haven't even thought about it.
Yeah.
We help them try to discover that too. So
yeah.
And again, who you are today will be different. Hopefully, you'll be the core of who you are probably. But I mean, 24-year-old.
You should evolve.
Yeah, 24 Luke was, I'd like to think, not as mature as 34-year-old Luke.
Right.
You know, like who's different than 14-year-old Luke. Exactly.
Well, if 14-year-old Luke, 24-year-old Luke, and 34-year-old Luke all read a chapter in the Bible, and they all three get the exact same meaning out of it, you've wasted your time.
Right. You're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Jay-Z has a great line. It's like, I didn't work this hard to stay the same.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
They tell me, like, people like, oh, you changed. And he's like,
yeah.
That's the point,
why would you not change? I've changed since bartending.
Right.
People see me now, they're like, what? It's like,
like
what it is.
Yeah, man. And then, so how long have you been, you kind of been in this business since 8, more or less?
Yeah, ever 40 years. Yeah.
And then what's ReVive's top service and why?
All right, so the top, I almost hate to answer.
Come on, go ahead. I want to hear it.
The top service is the colon hydrotherapy. Like literally, so when you do that,
that man is making a terrified face.
I know, right?
Colon
Listen,
hydrotherapy.
hey, listen. I was a hard sell on that too. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, because that whole nozzle up the butt thing, I was like, yeah, it's gonna take some getting over. But at the end of the day, man, everything that you eat and you don't pass naturally through regular bowel movements, it's lining your large intestine. The average person is carrying 4 to 20 pounds of shit in them.
What?
Yeah,
so
dude.
when you say people are full of shit, you're not joking.
You're not joking, right? You're not joking, dude. I have some people come in there. I had one member come in.
Losing 20 pounds of shit. How much better you feel?
I would
you probably pass out.
I would lose
from
my
a practical
shit.
standpoint.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah. Right. Bruh, that was a member that came in and she said that she had an X-ray and they wasn't looking for impaction and it was for something else. The doctor could see how impacted she was. She hadn't been to the toilet in over a week.
What?
Yes.
What's she eating?
Yes, I don't know. She wasn't drinking no water. I know that. But at the end of the day, she came like it took a few sessions for her, but she felt instant relief the first time, and then so as she went, she felt better and better. But man, so I told you, like, we do stuff that unimpinges your circulation.
Yeah, what is? I was interested in that. What is?
Well, so the better your circulation is in whatever capacity, the better you're gonna feel. My first graduate class, cardiovascular rehab, from a Greek guy named Theodore Androlopoulos. He said, you're gonna learn a lot of fancy words and things like this, but remember this one thing and you'll pass the class. Everything revolves around flow. Without flow, you die. Right? So if you're all blocked up in your large intestine and you got literal shit lining and you got a whole bunch of it in there and you're trying to eat and get the nutrients, how you gonna get the nutrients?
Right.
Because it can't flow through.
Right.
It's like you're gonna take an apple, drop it in the sewer, and then eat it out the other side. Like, really? How good is that gonna be for you?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what you do.
So how many treatments?
Depends on how bad you are.
How do you know how bad you are?
After that first one, you'll know. Because when you come in and you're like cramping, and some people might even get nauseous and all this other type of stuff, you're pretty bad off. Right?
Oh, after it's done?
Yeah, like while it's done, sometimes they'll be nauseous. Like when they got a lot going on and then they have to come back. But then when they come back after that second or third time, they feel better. The average guy is about once a quarter. The average lady, once a month, once every other month. Progesterone is what I suspect is the main deal of it. So women, as their estrogen is up, everything's good. When progesterone, it's a hormone, it goes up, it blocks them up. Now, detoxification is mental, is physical, and it's emotional. So you got to let that shit go, literally. Right? And so let's say you're a person that holds on to a lot. Yeah, you can get ready. It's going to be a long ride for you.
I need to do that.
Oh, dude, yeah, you do. But I'm telling you, you got to get over the nozzle first. And I'm not putting it in there for you. You got to do it yourself.
How big's the nozzle? How big's the nozzle?
You got to lube up first.
It's small. It's smaller than your pinky.
It's big enough that you got to lube up.
Yeah, you got to lube up first, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring the KY.
Yeah. Oh, we got it for you.
He's got you covered.
Yeah, we got you covered. We got Netflix. We got gowns. All of that stuff. You good to go.
Is it messy?
Nah. It's so you're literally you're sitting over a channel and everything goes down through the channel and you're looking in a mirror and you can see it going through the little viewing tube.
Oh,
it's like
there's a viewing tube,
bro. It's like National Geographic. I mean, you are glued to it the whole time.
You're just like, what?
Like when you see that first release go through, you're going, how in the hell did this come out of me?
Right.
Like my first time, dude. I'm like a 3-year-old. Like I'm on the toilet 2-3 times a day, like clockwork. Way too much information right now, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So in my mind of minds, while we're getting certified, we had to fly out to LA to get certified and stuff. I'm thinking, ain't nothing coming out. Man, once I got connected and she turned that water on,
Done.
bruh, literally National Geographic. You know, like think about a mud hill and somebody turn the water on.
Yeah.
And you start sitting. There you go.
Following that up,
Hell yeah.
what are the next steps for Revive Wellness?
The next steps, man, we want a franchise, right? So we're getting all of the kinks out and all of the other good stuff, and you know, in fact, like our salon hours, the software, and what works better, what works worse, who's better to partner with for say cryotherapy and for colonics, and you know, what independent services do you want in, and we want to franchise it out because the more people you help, the more you help yourself.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Helping other people every day.
Exactly. And so we opened up during COVID, so we don't have like real numbers per se.
You can't take a accurate assessment.
Exactly. But we do have real results from people.
I know Zig Ziglar used to always say, you get what you want by helping enough others get what they want.
You got it.
So
That's the only way you're going to do it.
That's
Number two.
It's true. It's true.
So that
I gotta ask. I gotta assume you guys have a crazy power bill just from the cryo alone.
My God.
What do you guys spend like a month?
Like 600. A little bit over 6, yeah.
How much energy of that is just for the cryo?
I don't know, man, but it got to be a lot.
It's got to be a lot to
Dude,
keep it at negative.
Negative 100. The cryo, like so it's a two-sided chamber.
Feel all the blood go to your heart.
Bruh, it's a two-sided chamber. One side is negative 70 and one side is negative 100. And literally between here and here, there's a 30-degree drop and you feel it immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. All your blood rushes to your organs. Right?
Because it's
so think
cold.
about it. Yeah, you're in a fight or flight environment. Like your body thinks you're trying to kill it. But for those first 3 minutes, some amazing stuff happens that's beneficial for you. All of your blood rushes to your organs, right? And it was your knee, foot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was my knee.
So all of your blood rushes to your organ. It's trying to keep you alive. So while it's in there, you're getting more nutrients and more oxygen, right?
Okay.
Another thing that happens is collagen starts to build, right? So that's your connective tissues around your knees and your elbows and all this other type of stuff. Norepinephrine goes off, so you feel good, while it's going on.
Okay.
Right. Another thing, the mitochondria of your cells literally cut on because they're trying to keep you they're trying to heat you back up, trying to keep you alive. That's why, like the white fat and brown fat, white fat mitochondria isn't on, so under a microscope it looks white. Brown fat mitochondria is on, under a microscope it looks brown and is actually starting to burn the fat. You come out, all of that enriched blood goes back out to your extremities, norepinephrine's going off, inflammation goes down, so you have a substance called TNF-alpha that it decreases the production of it. So any chronic inflammatory disease like dementia from playing football or arthritis and stuff like that, those symptoms decrease.
Really?
Okay.
Right.
It
Yeah.
helps with dementia and stuff too.
Yes.
That's
That
because
was
blood flow to the brain.
you got it. Blood flow, oxygen flow, decreased TNF-alpha. Like bottom line is when you any combat sport, when your head gets hit a lot, brain's gonna jostle around. I don't give a damn what helmet you got on. It's coming down. So it's going to be inflamed, and you want to decrease that inflammation so you can remember your great grandkids.
Exactly.
Right. So in the world of me, that's why I was most excited about that two-sided
Especially for you
chamber.
playing running back.
Right.
Running back
Exactly.
and
Which is
lineman.
crazy.
Running back, and I played every specialty.
Right.
Like,
right.
and would be pissed off if I couldn't be back out there.
Right.
Yeah. Like nowadays, no, I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to watch the game.
Speaking of the game, who you got on Sunday?
Oh man, get the hell out of here, bro. Really? I'm Raider Nation, man. So Tampa Bay, 2002. Seriously, Chiefs. We beat them. We circle a damn stadium, and seriously. And then my cousin and one of my close friends, Jason Noel, Buccaneers fan, Chiefs fan. They've been worried about it. I told him, I said, I hope y'all tie.
Oh, you just
Yeah. Oh, do it. And Antonio Brown. Man, get the hell out of here, man.
you don't like AB?
What? You trying to get it started, dog? Really?
He's crazy.
Yeah,
He had one of the craziest off seasons, like Britney Spears head shaving crazy.
dog.
Oh yeah. And
Dog,
Tom
I
Brady
don't know-
said, "Come live with us."
Dog, this dude was
I don't know if
away.
Tom Brady took his
this
social
dude was
media.
a day away from millions from us. Thank God he couldn't shut the hell up,
He was
Thank
so close.
God.
He was so close.
because he would have got us.
I wonder how much Tom Brady has to do. He seems mentally either they took the mic from him or he's matured.
Oh, he's zen.
Bro, they had
Buddha.
to have put in something in like his contract or whatever. Like look,
For sure. Because Arians
You
originally
do
didn't
this.
want him. And
Yeah.
Brady was lobbying for him behind the door like the whole time.
right.
Tom Brady has that effect.
Tom Brady does have that effect.
You watch him in the huddle. He's calling out everybody.
Bro, if I was a coach, I'd be like, yeah, come on. You want him? Go ahead and get him.
If Tom Brady says he wants you, we're gonna get you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Mahomes said that he can shut the hell up and go out here and do what you're doing. Brady, yeah.
Yeah, Mahomes too young.
Yeah, man. Dude, I hope Brady gets it.
You do. Honestly, we're witnessing greatness.
The old man in me wants Brady to win.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm staring 50 down the barrel. So I want to be like, you see, we can still do it.
I was going to say, I want Belichick to have to eat his words after kind of, in a weird way, getting rid of Brady. And then they're, 6 and 10.
Yeah.
Brady's in the Super Bowl with the
boys
Bucks.
looking bad. They're looking bad right now. Yeah.
And then, and I noticed also a lot of your emails, you ended with, and peace be with you.
Yeah, peace be with you.
Were you always spiritual? Obviously.
Yeah, literally, I'm that guy out of Birmingham, church choir and all this other type of stuff. Yeah, I'm the guy like we'd be sitting back there in the choir, right? Because our choir was different from most black choirs, black churches rather. Like we had 4 second basses in our choir. Most choirs you hear like the guys with all the high notes and stuff. So we had so me, Rodney, Dwayne, Kendall, at least 4 of us were all state, like singing all state choir. Oh, and so we sang at school too. So we would go to different churches and sing with those choirs. But your boy, I'll be sitting back there and while they doing screaming and hollering, I'll be like, whoa, that ain't what that says. Open this Bible up. Let's see this. Nah, dog. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you. But then as time went on, I stopped cracking jokes and started really reading. Okay. And trying to figure out what's going on. Why am I here? Why are you here? Why don't you think about stuff? What's the greatest fallacy of men? And all that type of stuff. Right. Yeah.
What is the greatest fallacy of men?
For men, it's not even a fallacy. The biggest problem with men is they don't think. That's it.
In what way? Like,
period. You just don't think.
You just go to work.
You just don't think past your hand. Like Earl Nightingale. I think I sent you something about Earl Nightingale. Mm-hmm. He was a speaker back in the 60s, I believe it was, 50s, 60s, whatever. But he said the American society is built like a convoy, right? And it's going back to that crazy conversation. Everybody get in line, do this. Weatherman tells you it's going to snow, so go buy.
It's like an assembly.
Yeah, go buy all the bread and all the sugar and pile it up, knowing good and hell well you ain't going to eat it anyway. But anyway, you just get in line, you do what you do. But it's built, that convoy is built for the slowest car to keep up. It's not built for you to prosper. Oh. So when you veer off, like the Wright brothers, you're fucking nuts.
Right.
Or Atlas, or whoever, like, oh, you're crazy, yeah, blah, 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 until it works.
Right.
Then everybody tries to build a convoy to you.
Right.
When the whole time you got it within you to do it, you just got to figure out who the hell you are. Who are you and why are you here? Like part of mine, like the big mission is to spark thought, make people think. That's why I thank you for sparking thought.
Yeah,
and me.
But that's honestly what I'm hoping the podcast does, is just get people
free game. Yeah,
literally, that's the whole point.
I'm just soaking it up right now. Sponge, 26 years old, just sponging it.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
So I mean, that's literally the concept though. Is what I've noticed, especially in America. And I used to be a high school history teacher, so I don't know how much it is from high school, or but the concept that to me that happens the most in America is everybody thinks because of you think something that you must think the opposite is bad.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So you look at politics now. So what happens is naturally what happens is you create extremes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I say, we'll use Black Lives Matter, right? If you say Black Lives Matter, then some people think that you're implying that others don't, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe I shouldn't even use that because it's such a charged term that people are already emotionally attached to it.
Well, hold on. It's kind of like the old school comedians, right?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes people need to get pissed off. That'll help them think.
It's true.
Right?
It's true. And it's so like because Trump is such a polarizing figure, right?
Right.
If you say
that was a good word.
If you say like, hey, Trump did good with these things, then people associate like, oh, you're a Trumper. It's like, no, I just think the economy's doing good.
Right, exactly.
I think he,
bruh. I'll tell you what. As a black dude born in '72 in Birmingham, this hits home. But I'll talk to my boys about this thing right here sometime, and they always go, boy, you crazy. But then they're like, okay, you got a point, right? So look back at the Klan, right? And you're like, oh my God, the Klan was horrible, this, that, and other, But then you're like, well, wait a minute, dog. Let's think about this thing. Like you look at Willie Lynch, right? Who wrote the Lynch letters. This dude had conventions on how to keep a slave and the mentality and stuff like that. And when you look at it, you're like, dang, that dude was smart as all outdoors, right? So you can appreciate that smartness, but definitely hate the outcome and what he did with it and everything else.
I think of Hitler like that all the time. He'd be like, dude, how do you bring a country who
That's what I'm saying.
That was right after World War I, Germany was forced to pay for basically everything. And there's a picture, I remember teaching it, of a German person running to the grocery store with a wheelbarrow full of money. Mm-hmm. Because tomorrow that won't be enough to buy a loaf of bread.
Right.
Because their inflation was that high.
Right, exactly.
Right. So how do you get people to buy into you so much that they elevate out of one of the worst depressions the world's ever seen during the whole worldwide depression? They're the worst, into world power and literally almost take over the world, and everybody and their economy's thriving and like all this. Again, you have to accept the flaws and the terrible and be able to, again, thinking. I think thinking should be done objectively.
Right.
Decisions should be done with an equal combination of emotion and logic.
Harmony. The six.
Right? There should be intuition. There
Back
should
to
be
the six.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. So logically this makes
2
sense,
3s.
but this doesn't feel good. Maybe I shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Or this feels good, but logically it doesn't make right.
Yeah.
But like thinking should be done objectively,
Right.
with feelings, and just like, all right, well, this, that makes sense, or it doesn't.
Right.
And I'm not going to be upset, or I'm not going to assume, because I'm sure it used to happen to you all the time, right? Black dude works out all the time. They probably don't think you're smart. You have a master's, right?
Well, here's what I love, though. And I got this from, it's the movie with Pacino. He's a devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Right? So I love like you're a bartender. Like if I'm sitting somewhere watching the game or whatever, I call it the hand up Mona Lisa skirt. And I love when somebody starts talking football to me, and I pick up that they think I'm a dumb jock, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. Right. This is about to be entertaining for hours for me.
Right.
I just sit there and listen to them, and all of a sudden I may drop something, and they're like, oh, I'm like, oh.
Right.
You thought that ship was a log? No, it's a ship.
Right.
Yeah. But no, man, what you're saying though, like when you look at all sides of things, because nothing is all this or all that. Right, it's a culmination of things. Like we're a culmination of our perception of our experiences. Bottom line, right? And so when you look at, like I was talking about the Klan, and you're talking about Hitler, and we look at it, you learn from it. You do 2 things. 1, you protect yourself from that shit happening to you again. 2, you use the good part of it for your betterment, and the way that you influence or the way that you help others. Yeah. And when you do that, that's how
you lift it up instead of anger.
We use everything.
You use curiosity to cure anger. Because if you're curious, you can't be angry.
Well, if you're open-minded, you have to be open. Like another hard left. If you look at love as trust and a willingness to understand, it tends to soothe the anger because you're willing to understand.
I had a dream one time, and it was like this scary dude, and across his, I'll never forget, just because it's such interesting. It was a tattoo across the thing, and it said, "To trust is to love," and they're like alter my view on love. Right. You know what I mean? And
no, literally, it is. I mean, because think about it. If you're a person, if you say like, okay, you love your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, right, and you don't trust her, really,
you're attached.
It's not. Exactly. It's not gonna work. Yeah. It's not like love. Love is literally trust and the willingness to understand. Like I got boys that I've known since I was like 6, 7 years old, and we're still boys to this day. And it's not that we're all perfect. We all have our flaws, but it's like, okay, let's sit down. Let me understand you, dog. Like, what's going on? And sometimes they're dead wrong. But it's like, all right, I understand where you're coming from. We're going to go do this. We know we're wrong, but okay. Right. Here we are.
Right. And it's okay to do things as long as Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X, in the beginning of it, I remember he has a quote, and it's such a cool quote, but it's, a man can do anything as long as he's willing to pay the cost.
There you go.
If you're not willing to pay the cost, like, don't play the game.
There you go.
Right? But if you can take the penalty or consequences, and I don't think I was ever really too afraid of consequences. And I don't mean like reckless. I just remember, like, my mom's favorite story to tell any girl, like, that she meets is like,
right.
When Luke was a kid, he stole a soccer ball when he was 7 years old or something like that, right?
Right.
And he came home.
Soccer thief. Jesus.
Sure, I used to steal bikes when I was in high school. But but he came home and grounded himself, right?
Oh.
So like I was never afraid of consequences. Like it was
self-awareness. All right.
I want the soccer ball. I'm going to a camp. I don't know what it was. Maybe my parents couldn't afford soccer ball at the time. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just know I was like, I'm gonna take a soccer ball. And I remember specifically taking it, playing, having a good day, coming home, being like, I can't go out for a week.
Damn, dog.
And my mom was like, what?
Damn.
Hey, you were evolved at a young age, homeboy.
So but again, maybe not, because then I was stealing bikes when I was in high school.
Did you ground yourself in high school?
No, I didn't. There's a period
It
of
was the influence of others.
It's levels to this thing.
Yeah, there's a period from like 14 to like 20 of douchebag Luke.
Right.
Everybody has that.
But like
Facts.
I think before and after have been good. But I always thought it was such a cool quote. A man can do anything he wants as long as he can accept the consequences.
Right.
And I think about it all the time. I'm like,
Right.
if I can't accept if this goes bad, right? I just invested in Dogecoin. I put
Doge to the moon.
Put a couple thousand in it before a couple weeks ago when it was whatever.
Right.
So when it went up initially a couple weeks ago, they were like, you're going to sell, and I was like, no, I have a certain number. I put my money into a very volatile stock. I'm willing to lose it all or make the money.
Right.
But you can't invest. You can't get in business. I'm sure for you, it's our new business in Corona.
Yeah, that's a hell of a time to pick something like that.
Ink.
Did you have to like limit how many people you could see a day, or do they?
Yes.
I love Lawrenceville, man.
They don't give a shit.
I don't want to snitch on any city, but
You just go in.
it's awesome. If you guys are if your businesses are being stopped, Georgia's awesome right now. That's all I want.
Matt Barnes
wanna
on
change
All the Smoke,
anything.
he said it best. And I almost wrecked the car listen to their podcast on All the Smoke. So Steven Jackson is here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, Jack, what's going on, bro? How y'all doing? He was like, yeah, we're doing good, man. He was like, y'all motherfuckers running around like Corona ain't even there.
Yeah.
Dude, but if you let the news tell it, everybody in Georgia would be dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My mom tells me all the time, she's like, oh my God, like that. Because she's in New York where everything is shut.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, honestly, I forget Corona's real for like weeks at a time here. Until I go to the grocery store and everybody's wearing a mask.
Exactly.
That's the only place you see a mask.
You feel like the asshole because you walk in and folks looking at you and you're like, okay, sorry.
Cool. Nowhere else in this town are you guys wearing this.
We all had Corona in August.
Yeah, we all got
shut down the office for 2 weeks.
I think I had it back in March, man. My damn lungs was like I was like, if I feel like this tomorrow morning, I'm going to the hospital. Like my lungs were hurting.
Oh.
And then, but nobody knew Corona was a thing. I'm an asthmatic. I thought maybe I'd gotten hold of something. I don't know.
It wasn't serious for me, thank God.
Yeah, I mean,
but I had to talk with my parents when like my whole office got it, and I was like, hey, if for some freak reason something happens and I die, do not let them make this about me. I think it's selfish. And I was like, yo, I get it. You guys could pass away. I think it's selfish to shut down everybody else's livelihood. Who knows the mental health, the long-term impacts, all the other impacts, because I was like, just don't let them make this about me.
You know what? See, that's what I'm talking about right there. See, thinking like nothing is all this or all that. Don't make it all about me. I forget who said it, but when you say like it's all this, it's like having a knife with no handle. That's all blade.
You can't even grab it.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not proposing I know what the proper term or thing to do was, but I think the route we went, thank God not here in Georgia, but at least in New York, there's going to be a lot of long-term impact.
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Business is shutting down. There's not enough stimulus money.
Well, think on just a human interpersonal level. Luke was talking about reacting with the frequencies and stuff. Like back in the day, you can walk too close to a TV and zzz, and do stuff like that. So we all, like, even in this small space, that there's an energy connection that goes on. So when there's no connection and you get people further
socially
divided,
distanced.
That there's psychological problems, their physical problems. Like women, when you get women together, their menstrual cycles begin to
I had 3
sink.
sisters.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a real thing.
I see Amanda cracking up.
I had 3 sisters and my mom.
Exactly.
So I know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was a strength coach for a while in grad school, and I was on the volleyball team, and I knew what was happening the week before. It took me a minute to catch on, but then I was like, okay, get it. So yeah, man, that's a thing, and everybody's not apart, and you're scared to see each other, and it's like, get away.
And it further divides
and
people.
then the other thing too, right? It's not. I don't think it's fair when people put like this evil onus on like a Zuckerberg or somebody. The social media is designed to do is create an algorithm to show you what you're looking for.
Right.
So what happens is, again, because of the
Back to
extremism,
that good and that bad.
That's what I was going to say. Because of the extremism,
right.
What happens is, people get in these echo chambers, where like anything that disagrees with fuck you, I hate you, and
Right.
they'll never see that again, and they only see what they agree with. So then they
Right.
end up down these conspiracy theories. You might give them one or two things that they initially agree with, and it's almost like the Hitler thing, right? Like you give them a little
Right.
bit, like you lead them with breadcrumbs.
Right,
to
right,
where-
exactly. And they never even think where do all these breadcrumbs come from.
But yeah,
Exactly.
the irony is now,
That's a good point.
and I think it's Richard Dawkins that wrote The Origin of the Species, or no. That's, I'm thinking
That was
Charles
Darwin.
Darwin. But Richard Dawkins wrote, he's a famous atheist. He wrote this book, I can't remember the name of it, but in it is where the term meme is created. And in it, he said a meme is an idea that's living, and it recreates itself by almost being a parasite within the human mind and having the human mind recreate it. That's where the term meme came from. So that's why memes are those
Learn
recreatable,
something else new.
those recreatable, shareable images.
Right.
And if it's on a meme, people just believe it.
Yeah.
They don't read books, but they read it on a meme, so it's fair.
Exactly. Back to the convoy.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
just, and again, I don't blame Zuckerberg or any of these social media gurus or whatever, but it's people doing it. The people are leaving the breadcrumbs, but it's the blind leading the blind. And they're just, all they want is somebody else to tell them they don't see anything either, right?
Exactly.
They're around a bunch of blind people.
Exactly.
They don't want to hear somebody.
Yeah. It's like being attached to the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I'm hoping with this podcast, end goal, ideally, is getting people to kind of look at things more objectively, getting people, business owners that are interested in to share their stuff. Another thing I've always been super fascinated with is Plato's Allegory of the Cave.
Give me that. I don't know what that is.
Okay. So
You've told me this.
Plato wrote The Republic. The Republic is supposed to be the basis of Western society, modern society, right?
All right.
In it, there's debate if Socrates is real or not. We'll say that he is. For either way, whenever Plato writes, he always writes as Socrates is the main character. It's always a debate. The start of the book is Socrates is, I forget who he's debating, but they're, it's a 400-page debate, but about what is justice.
That's a lot of damn debate.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sooner or later, I'm like, all right, dog.
So it's what is justice, and in it they go down all these different rabbit holes, and within it, Socrates is trying to describe reality through an allegory, and he says the way the world works, or modern, still I think probably even more so, most people are chained to a pike, or
Okay.
and they're looking at shadows on the wall.
All right.
Okay, the first free thinker, or weird person, or whatever gets off, realizes they're chained, but the chain's not actually locked. They take the chain off.
Right.
They turn around and they see the fire. It hurts their eyes. Oh my God! They turn around. They go back to the
Right.
stake. They put the chain back on because it feels safe. The next person turns around, sees the fire, closes their eyes, adjusts, and all of a sudden sees the person above it doing the puppets. Gets scared. Goes back. The next person sees the fire, gets over it, sees the person, realizes that they're making the puppets that they're watching, and then wonders what's behind the person. Walks out, and then goes and gets out of the cave and sees that there's light, adjusts his eyes, lights a stick on fire, comes back, and shows the people on the stake.
Right.
Hey, there's fire.
Right.
We're being controlled.
Right.
Because the fire and the light or the truth hurts their eyes, the people on the stakes actually get off of the stakes to kill the person
Of course.
that shows them the truth.
Right.
And
There's a
it's-
biblical verse that says the hearts of the wise in the house of mourning, and that's exactly why. Because you think the light cuts on you get to see all the bullshit, and then when you turn around and try to tell everybody else, like, hey, this is what it is. No, you don't believe what we believe.
Right.
Next thing you know, that's the end of you. That's why the joke was cracked. You don't want to be the first black dude to do nothing.
Dude, and it's so kind of wild though. And then the problem with that, right, is I've like kind of used that allegory to explain to people, and they're like, "Yeah, see, so like I'm showing you guys the truth," and I'm like, "No, dude, there's."
Yeah.
Right, so yes,
Back to crazy.
theoretically you could be,
Yeah.
or you could just be believing conspiracy theories. And I'm showing you books that and data that's saying that that's not correct.
Well, back to the downfall of man.
Yeah.
They don't think.
They don't
Stop to think outside of yourself just for a moment. Just think. And if you only listen to yourself, you ain't gonna learn shit else. Get outside of your circle. Make it happen.
We just hit the hour mark on the first initial podcast.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
Wow.
1 hour down.
Wow.
Yeah, cool, man.
Felt like 5 minutes. Did
Yeah,
we
yeah.
time,
I was
did we
about to
time
say, that
travel?
was an
Did we
hour.
time travel?
we might have been moving fast.
It's
Yeah.
relative, so
Yeah.
possibly.
Well, I've thought of that too. If there's mental speed, theoretically, when you're thinking faster, time moves slower.
Correct.
So
It really does. Like once you figure out football, when you got the ball in your hand, you can't even hear nothing.
Right. You're in that flow state.
Exactly.
You're in that flow state.
Yeah. 35 seconds of.
Oh, bro. Carnage.
Right. And then how much do you miss the game?
I don't miss practice at all. Right. I missed it. I missed the camaraderie. Mm-hmm. I missed the full release. Like on the field, I never was afraid of me getting hurt. My objective is to like mentally make you mine. Right.
Oh,
taking souls.
Shit.
And so, yeah.
David Goggins calls it taking souls.
Bottom line. And so I could let everything go and not worry about going to jail. That's the only part that I miss. Other than that, and I think of it literally when you're practicing to run into a man full speed and get up and do it again, not attractive anymore.
I wrestle with that all the time now. I used to be so obsessed with football, man, like scarily.
Football's awesome.
Oh, I love it.
And I think about that now all the time. I don't know if it was the camaraderie. And again, there's something about I don't trust a man
fire
that is 120% against violence. Right? There's something natural.
Yeah.
About violence. And again, I try to be a deep thinker, but at the same time, we're in a physical world.
Right.
Whether or not this is real or not, that's still the world I'm in.
Right. I'll put it to you this way. Frederick Douglass said this: power concedes to nothing without a struggle. Nothing. Like if you don't believe it, you want crops without the tolling of the fields. You want seas without the roaring of the waves. Right. If you want to learn something, pass a class, you gotta sit your ass down and study. You gotta do some stuff you don't want to do. You gotta overcome that inertia. You want to get bigger. You want to get stronger. You gotta be willing to set yourself on fire. When nobody's looking.
Yes.
Sometimes a fight is going to happen with these and not with this.
Yeah.
It's just the way things are. There's a yin and there's a yang.
Yeah.
You can try to balance it out a little bit.
You can't think
better,
your way out of a
happen.
physical altercation. You can try.
Yeah.
I want to start taking jiu-jitsu, actually.
Abdul Mutakabir. Look him up.
I'm going to actually send me some stuff later about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I want to get into jiu-jitsu. I used to, I don't want to say box if there's like any real boxers listening, but I used to go to the gym and spar and stuff like that. Dude, but I want to get like grappling and know how to.
When you see these YouTube videos, you're going to be like, set me up. Watch.
Is he a jiu-jitsu guy?
He's a martial arts guy. This dude studied with the monks. I mean, like everything, man. He like he's one of those guys.
Usually they say the most dangerous men are the most peaceful.
Exactly.
Bruce Lee used to say
when
it's
you
better
talk
to
to him, like I'm telling you, y'all probably need to have him on here. Like he's one of these guys that I can get a hold of him.
Yeah,
he's one of these guys that can like make his palms like radiate with heat and all this other type of stuff.
Oh, like Tai Chi.
What?
Yes.
Well, I used to do Tai Chi. Yeah,
he can like control his internal body temperature.
Yeah, he works with the ball and everything. Like when he was in the crowd chamber.
Yeah,
dude, he was in there chilling, working on practicing his qigong, man. I'm telling you, watch.
Is that a
mental, spiritual, physical, the whole 9 yards?
Do you have his card in your?
Of course I do.
I was looking at it yesterday.
Yeah,
or 2 days ago.
It's like yay big. Yeah,
yeah,
sitting right down the counter on the edge. Yeah.
And what are the three little things sitting up on the counter? I saw them. They're like liquid, like blue. And red.
The oxygen bar.
Yeah.
You got to go back and leave some of your insurance cards there.
Yeah, yes. Bring your insurance card.
Yeah. Anybody's looking for insurance.
So if you have,
where's the plug, guys?
Exactly.
Insurance plugs.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. If you got headaches, anxiety, depression, it decreases the symptoms of that. All it is oxygen.
Like pure oxygen.
You got it, and then it's just different flavors. That you smell when you think you taste, and blah blah blah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because when you smell something like that, like when you drink cognac out of a snifter, it's called a snifter because the smell hits you first, and then the taste hits you. So exactly. So with this, you don't get the taste, but you get the smell, and you're sitting there like, "Am I tasting this?" No, you're smelling. Yeah.
Okay. Is that good post-workout, pre-workout?
Workout-wise, anytime. For me, when I'm doing something tedious on the laptop that I don't really want to sit there and do, hook myself up to that, I'm chilling.
Okay, so how much would it be to get that in
an office? That's $1 a minute. Oh, to get it in the office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna try that again. I don't think Luke's gonna go for that one.
No.
Yeah, in the office,
oxygen
trouble.
bar.
Stop on by the spot. We got you. Come on by.
Yeah, I want to try it for sure.
For sure. Maybe after this on the way back.
I was thinking. I mean, you got me all.
Might as well. Yeah, no better time than the present.
I've been going hard too, so I need some.
Bruh, recovery.
The synesthesia I have is one of the rarest, but what synesthesia is most common, it's when two of your senses combine.
Say it again now.
So synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
So you remember the spoken word I did?
Oh man, yeah.
So in it, I'm actually telling the story of me developing synesthesia and talking to God.
Okay.
It's actually like how I wrote that one. So like all my spoken words, like these super allegorical references to these things.
You know what allegory means?
It's like a story representing something else,
Yeah,
right?
a story within a story.
Yeah.
I probably should have. Yeah, for anybody who might not know that. Yeah. So it's a story within a story. But the most common form is synesthesia. So it comes from the Greek word for synthesize. It's when your senses come together. Our senses naturally work together, but we have it's psychologists call it a default setting within the brain. So when you do mushrooms or something like that, what it actually does, it turns off the default setting, and your actual senses are heightened.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't even combine this with mushrooms because people are going to just associate it with that. This actually has nothing to do with that. It's like a separate side topic. But what synesthesia is for whatever reason the default doesn't stop your senses. With the most common is sight and sound. So Kanye West has it. Pharrell has it. Kanye says he sees music. There's actually a really cool. I'll send you a link.
Oh, like the Queen's Gambit.
I haven't seen that.
Dude, you got to watch that.
But Pharrell,
Netflix.
Pharrell goes
great.
to NYU and he's visiting a music class, and there's this chick that's super talented.
Maggie Rogers.
So dope. So anyways, so she plays Alaska, and at the end of it, Pharrell starts crying, or when it's playing, he's like crying, and then they're like, "Oh, he thought it was so beautiful." He goes, "Yeah, I have synesthesia," and she goes, "I do too," and he goes, "Oh."
Gotcha.
So what she did is she painted a picture. What happens is people with sight and sound, every note creates a
I'm following
a picture.
Yeah.
The worst one I can imagine would be like sound and taste. Some people have. So every time they hear the word pen, they might taste a pickle, or like it's just weird.
What?
That's crazy. That's crazy, dog.
Which also goes to show that, not to get too far. Like,
is it like Pavlov's dog type of thing, or
no? It's your senses.
It's like a physical manifestation.
It's a physical manifestation. I don't understand the taste one. The one I have is sight and feeling.
How does it work? Tell me how.
So it doesn't happen to me as much as it used to. There was like a 4 or 5 year period where like Chauncey and all those guys thought I went fucking crazy. When I was 21, I told myself, like, again, I told you, like, there's like that douchebag.
Did you know about synesthesia at 21?
No, dude.
Okay.
I went crazy for 4 years. But I am who I am, so I'm always like super open about it. So all my friends,
right.
Like there's a period where they all thought I went like batshit crazy. And one time my parents actually showed up to my college, like bring me to a psychiatrist. It was the worst fight I ever got in my life, because I was like, yo, da da da. But anyways, mine is sight and feeling. I like if I'm in a strong meditative state or just and I'm thinking about doing something, and I feel it. I see an aura. So if it's gold, it's intellectual and it's going to work. Pal, I need to be careful. There could be pain coming.
Okay.
Blue is usually more truth. They almost correspond perfectly with the chakras.
You got to talk to Cedro about the chakras, man. Oh my God.
So, and again, a lot of this information I just found out about the chakras like a year ago, so I didn't even know that it was hard for me to associate the colors with things.
Dude, he talks about how your energy flows and all that stuff. Anyway, go ahead, God. I want to hear this.
When I turned 21, I told you like douchebag Luke, 14 like 20. I told myself at that point I'm never allowed to lie again. I have to like and I have to like reach my maximum potential. And so my 21st birthday, I had this like beautiful party. I was working bartending at a mobbed up bar, and they gave me like this whole thing.
Right.
And I feel like so clean conscience, and like 100 people drove up from Syracuse. That's not an exaggeration. You can ask Tyler Johnson. Probably 100 people drove from Syracuse.
Right.
And I go to take a bus down to New York City the next day. And when I'm on the bus, I go, God, I'm going to talk to you. I don't even know if you've ever heard the story, but and I'll do my spoken word after. Probably a cool way to kind of end it, but like,
yeah, it will be.
So
it's badass.
So I'm like, God, I'm going to talk to you. Obviously, you don't really speak to me in English, so show me the signs, and I'll feel it out.
Right.
And then I'm on this 4-hour bus ride, and I'm thinking of things, and I'm seeing signs are corresponding with what I'm thinking, like so coincidentally that it's not coincidence, right? I don't believe in coincidence anyways.
Yeah.
But I really don't now. And then about a week after that, I start seeing auras. So at this point, I'm not as mature as I am now. I'm like, yo, I might be the next Jesus. What's going on, right?
right.
And like,
right.
And some of my friends are like dope boys.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like,
yeah.
I'm like sitting around guys that are like bagging cocaine.
Right.
And I'm like, they're like, dude, you hang out. You obviously are not.
Exactly.
And I was like, that's a fair reply. I'm seeing colors, man. I talk to God. I don't know what's going on.
Right. What is this?
Like that's what got me so into reading and the physics.
Right.
So then I'm trying to explain this scientifically. My father is like and I mean this in a good way, if he ends up hearing it, like super analytical. He's a scientist, PhD from Cornell with like patents, scientist, and almost pessimistic in a way that, not in a negative way, but like in an analytical, pragmatic way, right? And my mom is like volunteering to teach immigrants English and like, right? So kind of got this, but I was way more my father. Like I was super like black and white before, right? So I'm trying to make sense of this, and it's not making any fucking sense.
Exactly.
So eventually and I'm trying to tell everybody like I'm seeing colors. I don't have a term for it.
Right.
And I think I'm the only person.
You can't articulate what it is.
So like 2 years later,
yeah.
I found out the term, and I was like, oh, thank God, right?
Right.
And anyways, like, you know, I mature, and I'm like, yo, probably not Jesus, but
you sure?
Yeah. But cross that out.
But I think that there is a Godhead within all of us that
Exactly.
I've gotten access to.
Right.
And scientifically, I explained it with, I tried so hard to hear God's message that I might have combined my senses. That doesn't take away the mystical aspect. Now I see auras of things that are going to happen as a gift from talking to, right? So to me, I use science to explain my spirituality.
Exactly. There you go.
And then, so what I'll do now is I'll kind of intro that into a spoken word. I actually originally called it the Phoenix because I thought I was going to fail the first time I did it, and I would.
That was one you taught us.
Yeah. And
yeah.
But then I kind of got nicknamed like the Thesis. So I'll do that one quick, and I'll kind of end it.
Right.
So that one, guys, is going to. So anybody that's listening that's heard it a million times, feel free to turn off. If not, listen. About it, and so again, and I'll explain. You know what I'll do is I'll explain the story behind it. Right. So I said when I turned 21, I did this to talk to God. So it goes, about a decade ago, I began the arduous I wrote it when I was, originally when I wrote it, I said like at 21, but now it's so long ago.
Right.
About a decade ago, I began the arduous process of improving my consciousness. I'll repeat this because it carries great consequence. About a decade ago, I began the arduous process of improving my consciousness. So I called God, right? I talked to God. I called God, but he texted me back, the signs. But when he hits you up, it's hard to know how to react. I mean, I really tried to heed the words, but I just couldn't relax, right? I'm bugging out and telling everybody all this. The problem was I was trying too hard. What I had to do was just kick back. But you got to understand, on top of that, I was given a date and time. And I still remember the date was November 2029. It's true. I don't know if it's a date that I'm supposed to die or just point event on the world timeline. But naturally, it's got me analyzing power and time. The more I think about it, I realize that the power is mine. There's power in thought and I think in words. So the irony of me seeing these images and auras, I didn't realize it until later. People think differently. I only think in words. The only time I see images is when I meditate or if I'm doing psychedelics. That's like the only time. So there's power in thought and I think in words. There's power in thought, especially the active verbs. Now, logically, that tautology taught me about the power of words. I'm going to repeat this because this is the basis of my thesis. In other words, most important word you just heard. So logically, that tautology taught me the power of words that gives the power to nerds. If you don't believe me, look at the power given to Zuckerberg. That's the biggest game changer since Gutenberg. But back then, the print and press brought information to the masses. And now the stuff we put in our algorithms just leave the public with a mental paralysis. I had a voice, so I gave myself my own dialysis. I realized there were some things I had to keep and some things I had to lose. I started reading and I had to keep reading and writing. And I had to control my intake of the booze. And for the most part, excuse me, I'm burping, snitching on myself. For the most part, I've improved. And my improvement was predicated on my dedicated endeavor to be the best, and the prescription was self-medicated, and it relegated the days for us pursuing the lesson. And I know the entity respects this, because when I asked for help, I didn't ask for a Lexus. I asked for a guide, and I was given a Pegasus. And now, like Aladdin on his magic carpet ride, I'm hoping to show the whole world, a whole new world, through free game in my literate mind. Right? Now, when my past, present, and future clashes, I'm going to be like the phoenix and rise out of the ashes. So the whole concept of that is me talking to God and seeing the auras.
Our company logo is a phoenix, by the way.
And
And you
company
wrote that
logo is
before
a
you started
phoenix.
working there.
And I had this whole shaman like tell me he's going to revolutionize business, and that's why I wear the stone.
Right.
My last name actually comes from the ancient Greek word for bird of prey or phoenix, And
Really?
Yeah. So Chiraci, it used to be,
knew?
it would be Ieraci. It'd be Irachi. And it's actually a bird of prey, like a phoenix.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. My last name, we have slave owners.
Unfortunately,
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was taken from you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
Pretty cool, bro.
But before we end, thanks for being the first guest on Free Game.
Oh man,
Yeah.
honored
Hit
to
up
be on
Abdul,
belief.
dude. It's super cool.
Yeah.
How do people? What's the best way for them to help you out in your business and help themselves out in their physical health and mental health?
Best way, man, give us a call 877-257-3848 or hit us on Instagram revive_wellness_ATL or go to the website revive ATL. However you can get in contact with a smoke signal, whatever. Give us a call. Give me a call. Let me know. It just even if you don't know what service you want, let me know what's going on, and I can direct you, in the right way. Like I'm going to ask you some more questions and direct you and try to help you out as best we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. Way before this was even a topic, I went in there and he guided me on what I should try and all that. And it was great.
I'm next.
Me and my girl loved it. Jeremy's gonna go there right after.
Yep.
Bring it.
I'll see with Mike and Amanda after if we can maybe put like your phone number on there or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how that editing works. I know nothing of that. So if we can't, cool. They're giving me a nod that we can
All
do that.
good, yeah. All good, yeah.
No, this was awesome, and for anybody listening, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Plenty more to come. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed Free Game, and again, free, unrestricted. As you guys see, game, life, business, everything.